What's up, beautiful people? I'm back. I have been divinely guided and orchestrated to share another one of my intuition experiences because I know I need to hear it right now and somebody needs to hear it. Because let me tell you something, when you are working on being the best version of yourself, when you're working on your passions, dreams, or some goals that you have, and you also on your spiritual journey and you have taken the unknown path and you don't know what to expect, and your circumstances do not seem favorable, like it's going to work out for you, but your inner guidance is saying trust. The way I can bring myself back to center, especially when my circumstances are chaotic, is self-reflection. I like to think about times where I was in similar situations where things were chaotic, out of my control, and I had no idea how stuff was going to turn out. And my intuition told me to have trust, and I did, and it worked out. So boom, let me tell you what happened. So this was a couple of years ago. This is when someone tried to accuse me of an accident that we were involved in, saying it was my fault, and it wasn't. Okay, so we all done been there where being in an accident and it's your word against that person's word. Okay, so anywho, and this was in a commercial vehicle because obviously I done said it before, I was a truck driver. So it was on a Friday. Your girl was a little bit tired. I had been working the entire week and I was looking forward to taking the time off. I was going to get my hair done, my nails done, my toes done, my eyebrows done, and my Brazilian wax. I had it set up. I was going shopping, to the movies. Okay, you get the point. I was finna to take care of myself, treat myself, and then go see my boo thing a couple of states over. So anywho, I was in the DMV area and I usually park my semi truck in this particular state or whatever. So my exit came, I took my exit. I had to cross over 3 lanes to get to the left lane coming up, right? Which I did safely. Now, there's 2 left turning lanes, and if you are familiar with commercial driving, or if you ever seen a big truck, trucks are supposed to be in the outside left lane. So if it's 2 left lanes, your truck need to be in the outside one so you can make the turn safely with your trailer. I had a 53-foot trailer. So anyways, it was busy, the lane was full, but it was just enough space for me to go ahead and get my tractor and trailer in there, and only a little bit of my trailer and the tail of it was hanging in the street into the next lane. I mean, barely. So the car still had room to go straight without swerving. They could just go straight and it was good. So anyways, the light changed in the left lane and all the cars didn't make it, including myself, because it was that full, right? So I made it to the front of the line, and suddenly out of nowhere, it was a sunny day, the girl was just chilling, ready to take this time off, and this man pulls up in a sports car and he's yelling at me, "You just hit my car, you just hit my car, you just hit my car." I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, because I was literally parked and I was watching my mirror because the tail of the trailer was on the end. I didn't see anybody hit me and I didn't feel nothing. Plus I was parked. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't hit you. When? Because when I came off the exit, I came directly off the exit, came over the lanes. So if anything happened then, I would have felt it, okay? And then I got into the left lane and then my ass was on the trailer. So that was a really small window, okay? Not saying it's not possible, but I was that much aware. So he's yelling, "You hit my car, you hit my car, you hit my car." So he's like just aggressive and he says, "Pull over, pull over, pull over." And so he ends up speeding off, cutting in front of me, and he pulls up into the place where I normally park my semi truck. Now, right before he pulled off, or whatever, he pulled off, it was a lady that pulled up behind him because I was still in shock and my heart was beating fast, my adrenaline was rushing, and she was like, "Honey, go ahead and just pull over, okay?" So I go park my semi truck in the parking lot, and he's on the phone yelling and screaming with 911 that I had hit him, his vehicle, and I got a big semi truck, blah blah blah. So I'm nervous. I am in panic mode, like I don't know what to do. And if my spiritual team was trying to talk to me, my ancestors, it wasn't coming through because I was nervous. So I got on the phone and called 911 too, and I was just explaining to them what had just taken place, and they was like, "Oh yeah, it's a officer on his way now." Okay, so I was like nervous. I didn't know what to do. So finally, when I stood still and took a deep breath, that's when I heard the inner guidance, my intuition, say, "Don't worry about it. You're going to be okay." And I was like, okay. So what I did is I went and grabbed my commercial license, my medical card, my insurance paperwork, all the stuff that you know you're going to need. And then I walk around to see what he's talking about. Now, again, he's still yelling and screaming and carrying on. So I go look at his vehicle at the driver's side, and there was like some dark rubberish spots around like his where his tire was. And so I looked at that, and then I walked over to my trailer, like I'm scoping everything out, and I looked, and on my tire, my trailer tire, it was red paint. So obviously we did have some type of impact. But I'm like, that's crazy. How? When I was parked. So anywho, that made me more nervous. So I'm on the side, and he's at this point talking to the law enforcement officer, and now he's calm and aggressively explaining stuff to him what happened. Then he starts carrying on that he does Santa Claus for the kids and this and that, you know, just trying to boost it up, like, you know, make himself look real good. which was unnecessary. And the cop just taking his statement and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's about to happen. I don't need this right now. And the lady who had told me to pull up, lo and behold, she pulled over and she came to me and she said, shh. And then she held up her license, right? And I was like, and she was like, don't worry about nothing. Now, she had a commercial driver's license, right? And I did not know that, right? And she's going to play a significant role. And she said, don't worry about anything. So anywho, she went in the store and she started shopping. And the officer came over and talked to me. And I explained to him from my point of view what had taken place, that I was parked. I didn't feel a collision. I didn't hit anyone. I was watching. I'm not sure exactly how anything could have happened. And the officer, he just kind of was like, he just didn't want to be out there today. He hate doing reports for commercial vehicles, yada, yada, yada. And I said, well, there was another lady out here. She said she was going to speak to you all and she was nowhere to be found. So I just wasn't sure. So when the officer got his statement and my statement, finally the lady had came out and they ended up getting her number. They didn't even talk to her right then and there. I'm not sure why. They got her phone number and that was it. So I was nervous. But then I heard the inner guidance say, my intuition say, don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. You're going to be okay. That's what my intuition said. Don't worry about it. So no, I didn't. I just went on by my day, parked my semi truck, and I talked to the lady for a little bit who had, stopped or whatever. And I just went on by my business. So you know how I go with insurance and everything. They're going to have to call and get your statement. So a week later, I got a phone call from the insurance carrier. I believe it was my insurance carrier. They took my statement, right? And then I was nervous then. Nothing else, right? I completely forgot about it. I did exactly what my intuition told me to do. I completely forgot about it. So like 2 months later, right, because there was no damage done to my semi truck. It was just where that paint was. The guy whose authority I run under, he called me and he was like, hey, did you get the email about the insurance? I was like, no. He was like, you didn't? I was like, I probably did. And I looked and I did get it. He was like, well, let me tell you what happened, right? So this is the result, right? So apparently the lady who stopped and held up her license and said, shh, be quiet. She was on the road. And before anything had taken place where that man and whatever the incident was between me and him, she said he was in his sports car speeding, weaving through traffic and driving irresponsibly. You know what I'm saying? He was being real chaotic. He was cutting people off. They was blowing their horn. He cut her off. And she said that right before everything happened with me and him, she said if he keeps driving like that, he's going to cause an accident, right? So when she says this, like the statement from the insurance company, I'm like, oh, I was able to piece it together. So he was driving like that, obviously, and I was parked. He seen me at the last minute and a little bit of my trailer was hanging over, which is where that tire was. And he lost control, swerved, hit me trying to avoid me, but it had to happen quick. And then he swerved into the lane next to me, pulled up, and that's when he started spazzing out on me, taking it out on me like it was my fault. So let me tell you what happened. Like Spirit said, I was going to be safe, right? So the insurance company, his mine, collected this information, my statement, his statement. They got the pictures or whatever. They got the police report and her statement, right? After they did all their investigation. Boom. Not only did our insurance not pay for anything and say no, his insurance didn't pay for anything and said no. Okay, because he was trying to lie. So he had to pay for whatever damages to that car it was on his own. And it's just crazy how everything literally worked out like that for her to have a license and her to have seen how he was driving beforehand, or her to actually be a witness, you know what I'm saying, and give her statement or whatever. So Spirit was right. You know what I'm saying? Spirit said, God said, the universe said, you're going to be fine. Don't stress. Stop worrying about it. Stop. Just let it go. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened behind the scene. I didn't do nothing but give my statement and it worked out in my favor. So this is to tell you that trust your intuition. Sometimes when we're going through things, it gets just... times get hard, it feels tough, but we have to bring that peace back to center within ourselves and just know what we're working on, what we're hoping for, wishing, praying, you know what I'm saying, what we was told in dreams that we were going to get accomplished. It is happening. It is so much that goes on behind the scenes that we have no control over, and that's why we just got to stay out the way and just keep our minds focused on the present moment, no matter what your circumstances look like. So look, self-reflection, think about a time when something worked out in your favor when you didn't know what was going to happen. All right, guys, love you. Bye.